If you have access to a health savings account and you're not using it as an investment tool, you're leaving one of the best deals in the entire tax code sitting on the table. Most people think of an HSA as just a place to set aside a little money for doctor visits. And sure, it can be that, but used the right way, it's actually the only account that gives you a tax break going in, tax-free growth while it sits there, and tax-free withdrawals when you spend it. No other account in existence does all three of those things at once. Not a 401k, not a Roth IRA, just this one. Today I want to break down what an HSA actually is, who can open one, how much you can put in, and most importantly, how to use it as a real long-term wealth building tool rather than just a medical debit card. Number 1. What is an HSA? HSA stands for Health Savings Account. It was designed to help cover medical costs, but the tax structure attached to it goes way beyond what most people realize. Here's the deal in plain terms. The money goes in tax-free, it grows tax-free, and when you spend it on qualifying medical expenses, it comes out tax-free. That's what people mean when they say triple tax advantage, and it's genuinely rare. Even the Roth IRA, which most people consider the gold standard, only gives you 2 of those 3. You still pay taxes on the money going into a Roth. With an HSA, you never pay taxes on it at any stage, as long as it goes toward healthcare. The catch is eligibility. You can only open an HSA if you're enrolled in what's called a high deductible health plan, or HDHP. That's a type of health insurance with lower monthly premiums, but a higher deductible, meaning you pay more out of pocket before your coverage kicks in. It's not the right fit for everyone, especially if you have ongoing health needs. But if you're generally healthy and your employer offers one, it's worth a serious look. Number 2. Who can open one? To be eligible, you need to be enrolled in a qualifying high-deductible health plan. For 2026, that means a plan with a minimum deductible of at least $1,700 for individuals or $3,400 for families. On top of that, you can't be enrolled in Medicare, and you can't be claimed as a dependent on someone else's tax return. That's really it for the eligibility requirements. If your employer offers an HDHP, there's a good chance they also offer an HSA alongside it. And a lot of employers will actually contribute money directly into your account as part of your benefits. That's free money before you've even done anything, so it's worth checking what your employer puts in before you decide how much to contribute yourself. If your employer doesn't offer one, or you're self-employed, you can open an HSA completely on your own through providers like Fidelity, Lively, or Health Equity. Fidelity in particular tends to come up a lot. No account fees, solid investment options, straightforward to use. Number 3. How much can you put in? For 2026, the contribution limit is $4,400 for individuals and $8,750 for families. Both of those are slightly up from last year. If you're 55 or older and not yet on Medicare, you can throw in an extra $1,000 on top of that as a catch-up contribution. Those limits include whatever your employer contributes. So if your company puts $600 into your HSA, you can add up to $3,800 more yourself to hit the individual cap. The thing that makes HSAs genuinely different from most accounts is that unused money rolls over every single year. There's no deadline, no pressure, no losing it if you don't spend it. Whatever you don't use just stays there, keeps growing, and is waiting for you whenever you need it, whether that's next month or 20 years from now. Number 4. The tax advantage in plain terms. Let me try to make the triple tax advantage feel real rather than just a catchy phrase. When you contribute to an HSA through your paycheck, that money comes out before federal income tax, before state income tax in most states, and before Social Security and Medicare taxes. So, depending on your tax bracket, every dollar you put in effectively costs you somewhere around 70 or 80 cents, because the rest was going to the government anyway. That's a meaningful discount right from the start. Once the money is inside the account, it grows without being taxed. If you invest it, which we'll get to, any gains or dividends accumulate year after year without you owing anything on them. And then, when you use it for a qualifying medical expense, doctor visits, prescriptions, dental work, glasses, a whole range of things, it comes out completely tax-free. Now compare that to just paying medical expenses from your regular bank account. You earned that money, paid income tax on it, and then spent it. With an HSA, you skip the tax entirely. Every medical expense you pay through an HSA is essentially paid at a discount. Number 5. The strategy most people miss. Okay, so this is the part that most people never get to, and it's where the HSA becomes genuinely powerful. The typical approach is to use the HSA like a debit card. Bill comes in, you pay it from the HSA. Done. That works fine, but it's not the most effective way to use the account. The smarter approach is this. Invest your HSA contributions and let them grow. Pay your current medical bills out of pocket using regular income, and save every receipt. Here's why the receipt part matters. There is no time limit on when you have to reimburse yourself for a qualifying medical expense. None. So you pay a $300 dentist bill out of pocket today, keep the receipt, and 10 years from now, that $300 has been sitting in your HSA, compounding the whole time. Maybe it's now $500 or $600. You pull it out tax-free to reimburse yourself for an expense you paid a decade ago. Do that consistently over 10 or 15 years, and you've quietly built a large pool of tax-free money you can tap in retirement for basically anything healthcare related. The IRS just needs the expense to have been a qualifying one that occurred after the account was open. A simple folder of receipts, or even photos on your phone, is all you need to keep track. Number 6. How to invest your HSA. Most HSA providers let you start investing once your balance clears a certain threshold, usually somewhere around $1,000 to $2,000. Once you're past that floor, the rest can go into actual investments rather than just sitting as cash. The same logic that applies to any long-term investing applies here. A simple, low-cost index fund tracking the S&P 500 or the total US stock market is a perfectly solid starting point. The fees matter a lot over long periods, so pay attention to expense ratios when you're comparing fund options. One thing worth knowing is that not every HSA provider has great investment options. If your employer-sponsored HSA has limited choices or high fees, you're not stuck with it forever. When you leave a job, you can roll the balance into a new provider with better options. A lot of people move their HSA to Fidelity for exactly this reason: low costs and straightforward fund options. Number 7. What happens after 65? This is one of the most underappreciated parts of the HSA, and it's worth knowing before you write it off as just a medical account. Before you turn 65, pulling money out for non-medical reasons comes with income tax plus a 20% penalty. That's steep, so before retirement, this account really is best reserved for healthcare. But at 65, that penalty completely disappears. After that, you can withdraw for any reason at all, medical or not, and you'll just pay ordinary income tax on non-medical withdrawals, which is exactly how a traditional IRA works. So in retirement, your HSA essentially becomes a traditional IRA, with the added advantage that anything you spend on healthcare is still completely tax-free. And healthcare is one of the biggest expenses most retirees face. Having a dedicated account specifically for that, where every dollar is tax-free, is a genuinely significant advantage. To wrap it up, the HSA gives you a tax deduction going in, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals on medical expenses. Nothing else in the US tax code does all three of those things. For 2026, that's up to $4,400 as an individual, or $8,750 for a family, every dollar of it going in pre-tax, rolling over every year, and compounding without ever being taxed as long as it goes toward healthcare. If you have access to a high-deductible health plan, open an HSA. Contribute as much as you can. Invest the balance above what you might need for near-term medical costs. Pay what you can out of pocket and keep your receipts. Then leave it alone and let it grow. It's not the most exciting account, but 30 years from now, when you've got a large pool of completely tax-free money set aside specifically for retirement healthcare, which is going to be one of your biggest expenses, you'll be very glad you started when you did.